I couldn't have asked for a better day one on my YouTube channel here. The first NHL video, slam dunks left and right. So everybody who made their way over here, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I'm glad to know that you were rewarded. Carolina Hurricanes, they cleaned up the Montreal Canadiens. Of course, when you're dealing with Antti Raanta in net, there will always be a little scream, but they cleared the puck line, money line, and I told you Svechnikov was heating up. He scored a hat trick, and then we had the Edmonton Oilers. They cleared the puck line, not with relative ease, with total ease, up by 4 after 1 period, and even that LA Kings Vegas Golden Knights. I know there was a bunch of nonsense going on with the Golden Knights, and they play the Ducks, but often I tell you, early in the season, that's a bunch of fake hockey. Don't worry about that. Oh, just see that? That was fake hockey. If you want to know what the opposite of fake hockey is, that would be real hockey. But if you want to see what that looks like, go watch that LA Kings Vegas Golden Knights. That's what playoff hockey looks like. Every single puck is highly contested. There's no room to breathe out there. You got people breathing down your neck, and it's a close 1-goal game, and we were on the +1.5 side with the Kings, and we took the under 6.5, but not together. I know I have to keep reminding you guys that. So it was a beautiful day, and it was even better for all you guys who made your way over to the Patreon. Something I forgot to tell you guys yesterday. For the primetime isolated NFL games, I put those on my Patreon, and we blasted a +650 same-game parlay. We nailed some Breece Hall receiving yards and Elijah Moore receptions with the Cleveland win. We got a +650 in there. And then, like I told you yesterday, I can't give you all the tickets because they don't exist yet. And some of the tickets that I put out there, the Svechnikov 2 points with the under 1.5 on Nick Suzuki and Carolina to win. It was just a ton of crushing yesterday, and I'm very happy to see it.
You can be part of this.
The chat was ruckus yesterday. We had some new people in there. It was pretty funny. A lot of winning bets that people were adding. That's, you know how I say you can sniff your own way? People are proud to upload their tickets at the end of the night. Look, I sniffed somebody put Aho for 2 points, Svechnikov for 2 points, Carolina to win. He goes, look, I sniffed my own way. And we give them a golf clap, and we enjoy everybody who sniffs their own way, because I'm not here to give you sniffs. I'm here to teach you sniffs so you can take them out into the night. Now, I'm here on my YouTube channel, but one day, for whatever reason, if I'm not, you guys are going to be continuing my YouTube channel on all your YouTube channels. I'm going to be like L. Ron Hubbard dying. You're all going to be Tom Cruise and David Miscavige. I'm not talking bad about them. Please don't come after me. I've seen the documentary. Anyway, rather large slate for a Friday because, you know, we had the Christmas break, so now it's jumbled all the days. Usually it's Tuesday, Thursday. This time we got Friday. And I know you guys, right? You've been in my quarterback camp like the John Gruden. Like, what do you see right there? What do you see right there? I know what you guys see. You see the same 2 games that I see. Do you sniff what I sniff? Do you sniff what I sniff? There are 2 matchups that I don't have to tell you. I know you're looking at them. And there's optimal ruckus opportunities in those games. Now, I want to tell you guys, I want to remind you, just because they are ruckus, it doesn't necessarily mean. There was the Ottawa Leafs game, ended up staying under by a hair. But since I know most of you guys are Pirates, I like to lead off with the ruckus. If you guys want ruckus, I'm not your dad. I'm going to provide you ruckus. And the first one you're going to see is a rematch of something we seen about a week and a half ago, and that was when Columbus went into Toronto, went up like 5-0, and the game ended up going to overtime. Columbus ended up winning, and now Toronto's going into Columbus. Are they going to return the ruckus the other way? Are they going to send the ruckus back the other direction? No guarantees, but I'll tell you what, in the third period of that New Jersey Columbus game, we're like, you know what, man? No ruckus here. What happened to... There was late ruckus. Late in the night, you heard a knock on the door, and all of a sudden it was 3-3 going to overtime. So don't despair if there's not early ruckus. Ruckus is a thing. It can happen at any time. So we got Toronto going up against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, typically when I see a team and they lose that first one, you guys know this, the home and home, and if it's within like a week or two, if the worst team loses one, or the better team loses the first one, I almost always take them to win that game. So let's start with the over 6.5 Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's get that out of the way. Now the question is, who we putting in there? And I got to say, Mitch Marner, he's on a little dry spell here. And this isn't like when somebody is on one of those weaker teams and then it's just like, oh my God, how long is this going to go on? You play on that Toronto power play, you play with Auston Matthews, you're going to get points. It's just a matter of like not if, but when. And since we're getting a slightly better price because of those struggles, no different than in the NFL, we see Jalen Waddle's number come down, then we're going to go way over on his adjusted props. So give me Mitch Marner, 2 points. Johnny Gaudreau, 1 point. Over 6.5, Toronto Maple Leafs. That's the same game Ruckus parlay. Now, you guys know you can sniff your own way. You can do the Morgan Riley. You can do the 2 for Gaudreau like I suggested last game. You can do all those things because they're all on the table. But one that I'll spit out to you was the Marner for 2 points, Gaudreau for 1, over 6.5, Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah. Then there's another one. You see the next one? You got the Devils and the Senators, 2 members of the Scam 5. They don't play defense. They bring talented players on offense. And what are we going to get here? We can get a whole assortment of things. But we're going to go with that over 6.5. And who are we going to go with on each team? You want to know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take 2 points for old Tim Stützle on Ottawa. And then give me 1 point for Nico Hischier. Now, remember what I told you guys the other day? If you're going to take 2 points for the underdog, then maybe sprinkle a little on them plus 1.5, because in order for you to lose that plus 1.5, if you're right about the 2 points for Stützle and you're right about the 1 point for Nico Hischier, then the score is 2-1, theoretically. So the Devils would need 3 goals on top of that to wipe you out. So I'm going to go with the plus 1.5. How about this? Plus 1.5 for the Senators, 2 points for Stützle, 1 point for Nico Hischier. Drop the over 6.5 because it's not going to change the odds that much. That's what I would like to give you for that. A little ruckus. You can add the over if you want. I don't care. You can add the over fight. You can do whatever you want. But what I like, 2 for Stützle, 1 for Hischier, and plus 1.5 if you're going to do it that way. If you're going to take the 2 points for Stützle, then add the Ottawa plus 1.5. Hopefully you guys understand that. Maybe I'll explain it a little later on Picking Corners. But the tickets, once again, can't show you. It's the night before. They're not available. But you come to the Patreon, and then I'll give you the adjusted tickets later in the day. Hopefully I will see you there. It's patreon.com/Andy Francess. And moving on from there, we got some regular games to look at. I don't know how you want to define regular in this crazy world we live in. But we got the Washington Capitals playing once again. I saw we may be seeing some reinforcements. Another old man whose bones they're coming off 2 torn ACLs in back-to-back years. They're wheeling in the bones of Max Pacioretty. And then I think they just signed Ethan Bear as a free agent, so they're just getting more blah players to add to the very blah roster. They're going into Long Island to face the Islanders, who just got blitzkrieged. 7-0 loss at the hands of the Pittsburgh Penguins. You know what, these Islanders, every time I see that over and it's 6, I go, okay, we have to think about the over. I told you that last game. But as I mentioned last week when they played, I think Washington's so bad, I don't know if I can trust the over. I'm leaning over 5.5. Just a little. I'm leaning over 5.5. But what I'm going to do, although I know many Islander fans are skeptical, I know a couple of you guys listen to me. There's a certain level of skepticism in me too. But we know that they don't always respond well. But that is an embarrassing performance. And it also has to do with my lack of faith in Washington. I'm taking the Islanders at a relatively decent price. Not the best bet in the world because the Islanders are pretty much capable of anything. They're still missing their top 3 defensemen, or 3 of their top 6 defensemen. which is why they're hemorrhaging all these chances. But you need teams who can take advantage of those chances. And Washington, they don't have Gensel and Crosby and Malkin and Raquel and Carlson and Letang with 5 assists in a period. They do it differently, and they play a defensive game. So if they're going to do the Islanders that favor and play defensive when how you want to beat the Islanders is press their defense, then I think this should be a good game for the Islanders. We're probably going to get Sorokin because I think Varlamov is, dealing with something. I think he missed practice. And I imagine they're going to want a bounce-back performance, everyone from Sorokin to the players. So give me the Islanders over Washington. I'm going to be there when Bane breaks their back. In fact, it may be me who's Bane when it inevitably happens. So give me the Islanders there. Then for a West Coast game, I see a team in a very good spot. A team that paid us off. They brought us some misery during the playoffs, but we got our money back like Terry Benedict. Everyone's celebrating at the end of Ocean's 11. What happens in Ocean's 12? Terry's got all his money back, and that's what the Kraken did for us early this year. We were betting against them left and right. So I'm not that mad at the Cockroaches anymore, so much to the point that I'm taking me some Cockroaches tonight because they're going up against that Philly team. The Philly team that, if you noticed, why didn't Andy talk about the Vancouver Canucks? Are you just going to leave that game? I went to the comments. Everyone goes, smash spot for Vancouver. The reason this nose is here, A, because it was a great gift given to me, but I smell trouble sometimes. I smelled some potential trouble in that game, and I knew I was waiting. I said, okay, Philly, let me see you get a little something out of your system. Who played? Did Carter Hart play? Okay. Oh, he didn't? Oh, guess I'll have to deal with him tomorrow. But I'm going to have a rested Kraken team who's slowly getting into one of their grooves. They don't score a lot. We've cashed on their unders in multiple. We cashed on their last 2 unders. My God, are they cashing for us this year. This time, I'm betting on the Kraken to win. They've been accumulating points slowly. Went into Calgary, trickled one out the other night. And now at home against a Flyers team who's on a little emotional high after that Vancouver win. I think the Flyers are set up for a spot to be beaten in Seattle. And yes, I'd be leaning towards an under 6.5. But always remember, don't take money lines with under 6.5 if you're going to combine. Go reference my last episode of Pickin' Corners from last week. And I'll have another episode out later today for what it's worth if you guys want to enjoy. Where? Right here on my YouTube channel, which you should already be subscribed to. And if you want, you can come subscribe to the Patreon as well, where you can enjoy all the ruckus that goes on in the chat and the updated betting tickets and everything and anything and all that good stuff.
You can be part of this.
Very much appreciated. You guys make this go round. If you hear me start this video, hey, today's sniffs are brought to you by 3 Musketeers. I'd be a little disappointed if I had to promote that knowing how much better Snickers is. Oh my God, there goes that opportunity. But what were the odds they were coming to me anyway?
If I get another 3 Musketeers, I'm gonna kill myself.
I will hopefully see you later on for Pickin' Corners. I'll talk to you later. Good luck.